All right, let's try this again. Sorry about that. For some reason, when I was going through this the first time, the my phone just froze. One day I'll actually get a webcam and do this through a webcam, but until such time, the phone will have to do. So let's try again, shall we? Okay. So as I said, I've been writing for years, and the end point of most writing is to get published. So I was facing a situation that all writers face. Finish your story or novel, and you've taken those first drafts of an idea and fought your way through that first draft. You've edited the project multiple times until it's as clean and polished as you can get it. You've gotten good feedback from those who have read the work, and you're ready for that next step, which is, well, you want to get the story published, of course, and it's why you wrote it in the first place. You had a story to tell, and now you want to share it with the world. But how? My experience has shown me over the years that there's essentially two two ways to go about it. The first is the more traditional route through print magazines, brick and mortar publishing houses. Many, if not most, have an online presence, which can lead to an even larger audience. Uh, the advantage the advantages include professional editors and proofreaders to back up your own editing and proofing efforts. Formatting and production of the book are all taken care of. You don't have to worry about making the cover, for example. Um, the downsides, however, are word count. Traditional publishers have convinced the reading public that length equals quality. Plus, there's the extra frustrating steps of having to appeal to editors who have to decide which story to publish. And if you're trying to get a novel published, you have one more step to go through that you have to find an agent before you can submit the manuscript. Most book publishers won't accept a novel manuscript unless it comes from an agent. Now, this may have changed. It's been a while since I last researched submitting a novel uh, to traditional publishers. So you submit your story. It goes into what's referred to as a slush pile, although these days it's probably a folder in an email server. Um, and the editor will go through it, and if you're lucky, you have a page. Usually it's a couple of paragraphs to convince that editor whether or not to publish your story. And if it comes down to you or you and an author that the editor doesn't know or somebody who's published before, it's going to go with the one he's published before. You may get published eventually, it'll just take a lot longer. The other way is the way of the independent author, the way of self publishing. You can do both print and online, so you can still potentially reach the same size audience. But without a publishing company behind you, it's all up to you. You're the editor, you're the proofreader, you're the cover designer. And yes, there are professional editors, proofreaders, and cover designers out there, but they can get expensive. If you're like me, living from paycheck to a couple days shy of paycheck, it's not much of an option. You also have to do all your own marketing, getting the word out and bringing your work to the attention of potential readers, which is one of the reasons why I started doing these videos and why I keep annoying people on Facebook with those ads that I put up. Um, the upside is you're free. There is no word count. Uh, you can you can tell the story in however length you want. If you have a 5,000 word story, great. If you have a 20,000 word novella, that's good too. 100,000 word magnum opus, a bit daunting, but that's good too. And there's nobody to tell you you have to tell your story this way. You don't have to worry about trends. You can publish your story as you want. Now, I've tried both, and I've been going the way of the independent author since about 2012. Excuse me one quick moment. Sorry. I keep getting a pop up on my phone saying my connection is weak, so I just want to take a quick look at my modem. Um, as I was saying, for me, the word count was a big plus. Um, Traditionally, novels are a minimum of 50,000 words in length, though most mainstream novels these days are at least 80,000 words. As I said, traditional brick and mortar publishers have convinced the reading public that length equals quality. That you have to have, that it has your novel has to be 80 to 100,000 words, otherwise it's crap. To use a scaper term, frell that. Of all my books, only Campfire Stories is technically novel length, but it's a collection, so it really doesn't count. Most of my stories end up in the novelette novella range, about 7,500 to 49,000 words. Currently, the longest single story is On a Cold Wind, which is a little shy of 34,000 words. Could I have extended it to at least 50,000 words? Yeah, I could have. I could have added those extra 16,000 plus words, but it would have been obvious padding. The story as it stands is complete, and anything added to it would be obvious padding, and an editor would say, take it out. As it stands, On a Cold Wind is a tight little book. And I feel it moves along at a pretty good pace without passages that um, would leave the reader wondering why that scene is in there. I've never agreed with word counts and specifying that, um, other than categorizing, saying that a novel has to be long in order to be good. Um, I've not read it, but Stephen King's Under the Dome, things about I swear it's got to be about this big. It's the size of a cinder block. I am not kidding. And I'm looking at that, and it's like War and Peace would be easier to get through. So I don't even think about word count when I start writing. The story is as long as it takes to tell the story. I've had projects where I thought it was going to be a quick little 5,000 word story, and it turned into 30,000 word uh, novel. That's what's happened with On a Cold Wind. Um, I'm not concerned about editing and proofreading. I have a routine that I go through that works quite well for me. There's usually about four edits spaced out about 6 weeks apart. And I also think I do a pretty good job at making my own covers. I found sites that have public domain images that are free to use, and I can usually track down images that, once combined and filtered, adequately represent each book. But more than anything else, it's that freedom that being an independent author gives that I find the most appealing. Hey Toph, thanks for watching. Um, I can tell the stories I want to tell. the way I want to tell them. Um, I'm through, 2/3 to 3/4 of the way through a vampire novel, and by the time I finish it, it's quite possible that vampires are going to be completely out of fashion. Do I care? No, because I'm telling the story that I want to tell, and somebody out there will read it. And before anybody asks, no, my vampires are not emo teens who sparkle in the sunlight. Um, the downside, though, as I said, it's marketing um, and advertising. That's the real issue. Getting that word out. I mean, I've sold some copies. Do I wish the books were selling better? Of course I do. And would the resources of a traditional publisher help? Yeah, I'm sure they would. But they're also a business, and they have to think about what's going to sell. And is my little story about government security agents in the early 23rd century um, going to sell? Yeah, maybe, but maybe not. Plus, it's only not even 20,000 words. Um, so that's the freedom it gives. I don't have to worry about trends or anything like that. Um, I can tell whatever story I want. There's an audience out there. I just have to find them. But that's for another day. Maybe it's my growing libertarian streak, but I don't think someone should be telling you how to tell your story or what kind of story to tell. And being self published, you're getting the stories the way I want you to get them, presented in the best way I can with the best characters I can. And that's about it. So as part of the marketing, all 7 of the books on a cold with eyes open, campfire stories, upright symmetry, the fault lies not, Ray, on a cold wind, and Brianna and the Three are all available through ebooks and print on demand through Smashwords, and Smashwords distributes to Barnes and Noble, so it's available through the Nook. It's available through iTunes. They're also available through Amazon, Lulu, CreateSpace if you want to print on demand, and all the links for those can be found on my website. It's wordboy1.wixsite.com/wordboyswords, and I'll remember to put that in the comments below. This will also be available on YouTube later today or tomorrow. If you have any questions after this is over, put them in the comments below, and I will try and answer them. Thanks for watching. Thanks, Toph, and see you in 2 weeks. Bye.